Good afternoon, everyone. And this is Vinod from Excel Snippet representing myself Academy. And this is our video number 11 in Excel Beginner Series. In video number 11, as I promised in video number 9, I will take you to the world of date and time functionality. In date and time functionality, I'm going to train you on 15 different date and time functionality. Again, there are a few functions which has over a period of time have improved. There are a few functions which is available in 97 and 2003. Few of them are updated in 2010 version, and few of them are updated in 2013 version, and so on. So let's see how to work with these functionalities. And let me add a brand new sheet to us. Shift F11 will allow us to add a new sheet to us. So I'm going to press Shift F11. So now you can see automatically I've added a brand new sheet, and I'm going to name them right now. So date and time functions. Again, here I can use a formula, and I can use even a keyboard shortcuts to work around. So let's do it. I'm going to just use the basic. I'm going to just select few cells in here. I'm going to go back to my home tab. I'm using merge and center to add a header to my list. Let's just say date and time. And here, in some point, I'm going to use a formula. And here I'm going to use a function to achieve it. There are a few formulas where I can achieve it. So formulas that we are about to add right now is I'm going to add around 18 different varieties of formulas here. So I'll show the differentiation to you. First one is going to be today, and then now, day, days, month, year. And here I'm going to use text, day, text, month, text, year. These are three functions which I am using. One of the text functionality or text function. So I'm just using the text function here, and I'm just using the merge center and as well as a wrap function and making horizontal and vertically centered data. Other than that, I'm going to just go back to my week num function and week day function. These are the simple functions that we will come across in date and time functionality, and later on we are going to jump into Workday International, Networkdays, International, EO month, eDate. Finally, we're going to see one other function which is not in our drop-down list called Datedif. Let's see how to work on all these components. Generally, when I work with today function, I can just use today formula. Generally, when I type a formula, I don't type the entire formula. I type the first few letters of it, and you can see the formula. If the formula comes in place, then I hit a tab. Here, I don't fill anything because the system is going to pick the date automatically from your system date. So I'm going to give an enter, so it's going to give you the today's date. I've mentioned one more component here called function. So here I can use a keyboard shortcut to achieve the same output, but that's not going to be a formula. So to achieve the keyboard shortcut, I'm going to use control semicolon. So when I press control semicolon here, it's going to give you the same option. The difference between these two is the first one is a formula. So if your date, or if I'm going to save this workbook, and then when I open it tomorrow, probably my today formula will change to the next day. Where when I come to the functionality that I've given, I gave a control semicolon as a keyboard shortcut. That will remain same in the same date. It won't update automatically according to the system date. But whereas on the left-hand side, whatever updation that I do, that's going to change as and when there is a change happens. Probably I can show you a little better in our next formula. So I'm going to use the next formula called now functionality. So when I use the now function here, again, I'm not going to fill anything in here. When I give an enter, you can see that automatically it not only adds your date, it is going to add your time. But when I added my time was 13:50. or 150 rather in the PM part. So now we can see that as my time shows the bottom part as 1351. Now if I use an F9, if I refresh my sheet here, automatically my data will be refreshed here. So I'm going to use a keyboard shortcut here called sheet refresh, and keyboard shortcut is F9 for us, and that's going to automatically update it. I don't have a function to do this with a keyboard shortcut, but I can bring in the time alone in here. To bring the time alone, I have keyboard shortcut called Control Shift and Syncode. So I'm going to press them simultaneously, and you can see that the time pops up here. Again, as I told you earlier, right-hand side functionalities that I am trying to add right now will not change the time changes. Now you can see that my time has ticked out to the next minute, 1352. So when I press F9, you can see that my left-hand side data changes, not the right-hand side one. Right-hand side one remains same. So now if I want to break out, so now I'm going to use a formula inside another formula. So what I want is I want to find out only the day, that is out of this entire date. I want to extract the date part alone. Now my system denotes my date in this dimension. So DD, MM, YYY. I would wish to extract the DD part alone into my list. So to do that, I'm going to just say day. Then I'm going to say today. The system first adds the today and gives you the complete day. Then it extracts the day DD part of the day alone. When I give an enter, you can see that it's extracting that list. So let's see what is the formula inside each and every result that I have here. To do that, I'm going to use another point here called formula text. Again, remember, this formula text is not available in our older versions. Only if you're using after 2013 version of Excel, you may be able to see this. If you are using some other version, probably I can do it in some other way. So now I'm going to just show you this, and I got all of them up here. And now if I want the same to be done, then I'll come back here. I'm going to just say F2 to edit it, and I'm going to select the whole formula, copy it, and I'm going to add an apostrophe first, and then I'm going to paste the formula and enter. It's going to give you the same answer for you, but again, this is far easier to do it in the later version. This is a little painful aspects for us to work around in the earlier version. So we have to just go to the edit mode of the formula, copy the formula, go wherever you want to paste it, add an apostrophe first, and then add your formula, and then it gives you the answer. That's how it generally works. So now I'm going to just go to the next formula. Again, this is the formula that came into existence. So let me just add one more column here so I can denote that in which versions we have. So all versions. So these are the component which is there in all version. Again, when the day function comes from 2013 version. Earlier, if you want to use a day, or if you want to find out the two different dates, for example, I'll explain you better with a small part of it. So now I have a start date, and I have an end date. So let me say I'm having a start date as this and the end date as this. Now I would like to know what is the number of days I have. To do that, I'm going to earlier what we will do before 2013 version. We'll just go down to this point. We will normally do the end date minus my start date. That's going to give you the number of days. This is what the formula that we would have done if we are using our older data or the version which is below 2013 or before 2013 version. Wherein if I am having a 2013 version, then I don't want to really worry about it. I can use a formula called days. Again, it's going to give you the same answer, but I'm putting it inside a formula here. So I'm going to just say end date, comma, my start date, and give an enter. It's going to give you the same answer. Now the formula will look like this. I'm using Control D to populate this because I'm adding all the formulas in a singular column. So you can see the difference. It's not showing me anything very big. Earlier, we had a mathematical expression there. I just used a subtraction function to achieve my number of days. Here, I'm using a formula to do so. That's the difference, nothing else than that. So this is a version which we have it in our list earlier. So again, the month function also comes here, function comes in there, and even all these components will come in all version. When I say month, like I use my date function, I'm going to just let me populate this formula point until weekday, and then I'm going to add a formula here. I get the result on the F column, and in the I column, it's going to show you what formula that I wrote. I'm going to say equals month, tab down, and then add it today functionality, tab it down again. If you don't close the bracket, when you give an enter, it's going to shout at you and say that I'm sorry, there is no close bracket for both the today and as well as month. Would you like to do the corrections? That's what the system asks you a question. So I say yes, please do that. Then it's going to give you the answer. Now the answer is 5. It extracted the for me from my today functionality, and it gave you the answer called 5. I can achieve the same using the year function. Again, today, tab, enter. Again, it shouts at me, enter. Here we go. We get the list. I got all the numerical valuation on the top. Now I want them as a text here. So when I come down to a list or a little bit below, I can give what day today is. So that's what this text function is going to do for us. So I'm going to just say equals text, and you can see that the format comes into play. And I don't want to type the date here. Instead, I'm going to use today function, close the bracket and give a comma, and then I want a date here. So if you want a numerical expression, you don't want to use the text function. Probably you can use the day function itself. I'm about to use a text here, so I need a alphabetical expression of a day. So to do that, I'm going to give a 3D minimum. This allows me to get my date in an abbreviated format. When I give an enter, you can see that. I can close the bracket. Yes. So please continue. Now you can see that it's giving you a short day of what day it is. And if I want them to be better, then I can add one more D in here. When I give an enter, you can see that it is giving the complete day for us. The same happens for the month. Again, I'm using the same functionality. I'm not doing anything very big, just altering the last text function. That's why I said I'm going to teach you only one text function in this list. So when I give an enter, it shows the entire month. Again, this is the blessing when you go for a smaller month. So even if I give 3 M's, it's going to give you the full day or full month name here, because 3 characters is going to give you the list here. But when the month name goes beyond 3 characters, then it's going to give an abbreviation for you, not the full name of it. If you go to April or June or September, then I may not be able to get that. The same way happens for the year. Unfortunately, year is not going to be displayed in an alphabetical manner. It's going to give a text, or it's going to give a numerical value for you, but it's going to give you in the text format. Let's see how it's going to work for us today. And then I'm going to just hit 3 Ys. I don't have to type 4 Ys here, so even 3Y will give you what you want. And then I'm going to close the bracket and give an enter. See that gives you. There is a difference here. You can see that. I type the year in the numerical part. It comes to the right hand side of my data. And if I'm using a text functionality, it shows the same answer, but in a text formula or in a text format where my number is coming on the leftmost part of the cell, not to the rightmost part of the cell. So now I'm going to just add the last point. Then the next point is called week number. I'm going to just say equals week number. What week number I am in this financial year, so or this calendar year. I'm going to just type the today part and give an enter. It says I'm on the 22nd week of this calendar year. And I can find out what day I am in based on my weekday start. So when I go down to weekday functionality, then I'm going to type again today, close the bracket. When I give a comma, then it gives you a drop down for you. In this drop down, you can see that I have a lot of starting dates. So sometimes in some country, the weekday starts on a very weird way. For example, if you go to UAE, their week probably starts on a Saturday because they take a break on a Thursday and Friday. So Saturday, their start date is all about. But most of the countries start on a Sunday. Some countries starts on a Monday. And when I go to Monday, you can see that I have 2 variances here. So I can say the Monday as 1, or I can say the Monday as 0. Because most of the country uses Monday as the first day. So they're giving you 2 options here. So I'm going to choose the Monday as 1 here, then if I'm on Wednesday, then it's going to give you the answer as 3. And when I give a close bracket and you give an enter, you can see that it's giving you the answer as. So these are the functions which was there in all over our list. And when I come down to these versions, this is where my versions or my formulas are going to take a shift here. Then I can see all these functions. So there are only one formula that is recently added in 2013 version, and or what are the formula that I'm going through in these versions are the changes that we have here. Next formula is a very interesting formula. This is where we are about to play around with calendars or play around with the countries. Let's see how to work on this. This is the first formula that we are going to see today. This formula is called as workday function. So again, when I deal with the workday functionality, the workday function allows you to give you your end date. So I have a start date, I have a number of days, and I have an end date. So the system allows you to find out what is your end date in a weekday function. So for example, I'm starting work today. Let's see, I'm starting work on 27/5/2020. I gave a control semicolon as a keyboard shortcut to pop up today's date. So I didn't use the today formula here. Then I'm saying the system that I'll take 15 days to complete the project. Then I would like to know what is the end date of the project. Remember, this particular function works according to the US calendar. That means by default, Saturdays and Sundays are holidays here. If you have any holiday coming up in these period, then you can add them. Other than the Saturdays and Sundays, if there is any government holidays are added to our list, probably you list them out here. So at the moment, I didn't figure out any breaks are coming in US holidays as such. For example, I would like to do something like that. So let me take a weekday. So I want to see maybe in June month, probably the first week, what is that weekday that comes into place. So I'm going to just move down one step ahead. So I'm going to take 3rd of June as a holiday. Let's see what happens. I'm going to say 3/6/2020 as a holiday date here. And I want to find out what is the end date. Remember, that is a daytime functionality, so it's going to give you an answer in a numerical form. So you need to change your data into a date dimension. So let's see what I'm trying to mention in here. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to say equals start date, or I'm going to just say, sorry, workday function. When I do a workday function, when I give a control A, you can see that that pops up a list here. So it's going to give you 3 syntax here. Your holiday is not a must here, but if you have so, you can add. Let's say, what is the start date? My start date is this. What is your number of days? The number of days that I'm going to consider to finish my project is 15. And what do I have a holiday list here? If I have a big list, I can choose them. If I don't have, say this. When I give an OK, you can see that the answer is going to show you 44,000. So this is the number point that I'm talking about earlier. If you want the display to be shown properly, then I will change this. I'll go back to my home tab, and in the number topic, I'm going to change the general topic to a short. You can see that it is saying that it's going to complete work on 18/6/2020. If I don't have a date holiday, probably 1 day short, it's going to give you the answer. This is your work day function. But if I'm dealing with workday international function, and that's where the real point comes to me. So when I deal with the workday international function, so I can choose my weekend. So I'm going to use the same logic here, but this is not going to be for the US calendar. So I'm going to just take the same logic. Let me take all of them here, copy it, paste it down. You can get all this list, but this is going to be according to the Indian calendar. And as per the Indian calendar, I'm saying all my Sundays are holidays, and I don't think I have a holiday here. So there is no holiday during this particular period. We are in a long holiday already, so I don't think we have a holiday. Now I'm going to use the list here. So here, when I come down to this portion, so it's going to ask you your weekends. So my weekend is fall on a Sunday here. So it's going to be my weekend. So when I come down to Workday International, I have an extra cushion. This is what a new formula that is added in 2010 version of Excel. Until then, we don't have this workday functionality. We have to use the other functions to find out my weekdays in a very weird way. That's going to be a long way to do it. This particular formula made our life so easy. So we forget to deal with the days, month, year anymore. We have stopped those components once we started using this workday international function. So I'm going to use a workday international function in here, and it is going to start. And we'll see how we can work around with that. So I have a workday international function in here and an international function. So I'm going to just choose this first date here. So I'm going to say start date is this as usual, or I can use a control A to pop up the box. Now we can see I have 4 boxes. Earlier it showed only 3. Now I have 4. And if I have it here, I need to understand what is the shortcut is all about. So let me just do it one more time. I'll show you why I'm not going to use the control A. When I use the control A, so I'm going to say this is the start date and this is going to be the number of days. And when I come down to the weekend, I don't know what is the weekend is all about. If I'm using a function of it, wherein if I use this as a formula here, I'm going to choose the start date as this, number of days this, and it gives you a drop down for us here. So it shows you a drop down here, and you can see that it gives you one a Saturday and Sunday. If I have 2 holidays, I can choose them, and 2 a Sunday and Monday, Monday, Tuesday, and so on. If I have only 1 holidays, then I can pick up the following numbers: 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. In some country, we have only 1 holiday, like we have in India. So in India, we are only taking off on a Sunday. I'm going to give a tab. It's going to show you an 11 number there. 11 represents Sunday in here. I don't have a holiday list here, so let me just choose a holiday and add a holiday there. So I'm going to close the bracket and give an enter. Again, it's going to give you. Okay, I don't have a date here, so let me just that's what shows an error. Yeah, now it shows the right answer. So I have an hyphen there, so it's not allowed me to show me that. So now I want to populate the date here, so I can just come back to this date or any of the dates. I can use in the home tab. I have a line called format painter. Click that and click it in here. So it's going to change our list. If you're a big lover of mouse user, probably you might enjoy this. And if you closely watch when I use a project in US, I use a project in India, probably I finish the same project 3 days less than normal. So this is how we can use that. So now I got my workday international function, and if you go through this logic slowly, let's see how to work on this one. So now I have the next condition. So first I saw the end date of these data. Now I'm going to see how many number of days do I have. So if I want to find out the end of the day, I'll be using the workday functionality and workday international function. Wherein if I use the next one, that's called net workdays, then I am about to have the first 2 options with me. I'm going to find out the last option. So I'm going to find out what is the number of days available in between. So when it comes to the net work days, so again, we have the same logic comes into play. So I have a start date, and this time I'm going to take it in a little different way. So let me copy the calendars alone for us that we can use them. And here I'm going to just say the start date is this and my end date is this. So I want to know, because generally if you are in India, your holidays are a lot on these months. If you are in other countries, probably your holiday overs and you are going to start work from this month. So our logic is we are going to find out what is the number of days available. So when I deal with this list, so I'm going to just say the holiday list, I'm changing it. First day of the calendar year is a holiday for us. I want to know how many days do I have to work on this. So in this month, if I'm running a manufacturing unit, I want to know the production hours and production days. Then how many days do I have? If I run 2 shifts, will it be okay for me, or would I have to add another 1 more shift so that I can achieve my goals that I'm looking forward for? To find out that, use a Networkday International or Networkdays functionality. So let's deal with the Networkdays function first. I'm going to say equals Networkdays, and you can see that it's giving you the start date. Again, I can choose our function argument here. So start date is this, and my end date is this, and I have 1 holiday here, and give an enter. And gives you the answer here as 22 days. Again, if I'm going to fetch this, probably according to the Indian calendar, then what happens? So here, so my Indian calendar will have a lot of holidays. So I'm going to start with here. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to add 2 more days in here, and we have 1 more dimension. These are this many number of days we generally have if you are in India. So let's see how to do that. So again, I have to do some alterations here. So again, I'm bringing in I'm going to switch this date alone. So I'm going to just take this and put it in here. Then I'm going to just copy this, paste it here. And yeah, here I'm going to find out the number of this. If you see the amount of leave that we have here, we may probably lose a lot of days here. Let's see. I'm going to use Networkday Internationals. And if you want to use the function argument screen, you can use Control A here. Again, I know that my Sunday is falls with a number called 11. That's what I've done in the earlier list. So if you are not sure about it, so just come back to this point, copy it, and paste your formula here. You can see the 11 comes in here. So copy it. Probably when I copy paste, copy, and then what is my answer? Paste. I don't know what my answer is, so let me paste everywhere. Yep. The answer is search on it. Now we can see that in the workday international function, you can see the 11 comes up. That's what we use for the Indian Sunday. So I'm about to use the same here. So I preferably use the workday international function, Control A. My start date is 1, and the number of days is this. The weekend is going to be 11, and I have a huge list in here, so I'm going to select all of them. Earlier we had only 1 day, so we chose only 1. I have plenty. When I give an OK, you can see that it gives you the same. So in Saturdays, Sundays are holidays in US, and in India we have Sundays. If I'm working for a US company, I think that I'm done then. So I might not have this many number of holidays. Probably I might have 1 day holiday in here called 15, 1, 20, 20. The rest of them will not be there. So now I'll be having a lot of days compared to the other people in the list. So this is how we will play around with our net workday international function. I have 3 more functions to go forward. The videos are a little larger than normal, I believe. So if I'll finish this, it will be best because we don't want to really drag this to the next point. So now I'm going to copy and paste this so that you can get a complete video of what we want. The next 3 logics are simple logics. The last one is the finest one. The next one is called end of the month. So when I say EO month, it's going to find out the end of the month for me. And for example, I'm typing today's date. So I'm going to give control semicolon. This is the today's date here. And here I want to know the last day of the current month. So I'm going to type this current month. And I want even the last month. And I want even the next month. So you can find all of them here just by using 0, -1, and then 1. So -1 is in date format, so that's why it's giving a longer logic for me. So I'm going to just change them to number. So let me just take this data 1 cell backwards. I'm going to cut this, paste it here. So maybe because I don't want to cut the continuity of our formulas list. So for that I'm using this list. So now my earlier formulas was disturbed because I have a long list coming up in here. So now I want to find out the last day of this month. So let's see how to work on this part. So I'm going to just come down here. I'm going to just say equals EO month. If you wish to keep this month as the base, I want to consistently use this date for all the 3 results. Then I will choose this date and press NF4 once. This is a cell reference. We call this as absolute cell reference. If you want to know more, you can go back to my YouTube channel. There you can see a cell reference as a video. There you can get a real idea how it's going to work for us. Then I'm going to give a comma here. And I can either type a 0 in here or I can choose the blank space here on top. But again, I'm going to reduce the top space also. So I'm going to just give enter. Let me minus this to the left. And you can see that my references is gone. Now I'm going to just deselect this and give an enter. So these are the errors that will fall into. So I'm going to just populate this to all the list. Then I'm going to convert this numerical values to display as a date. So I'm going to get this, give a short date in here. You can see that current month, next day, previous month, last date, and the next month's last date. Here, if I want to go back or if I want to go to a longer point, I can still do that. My Excel engine starts as old as 1900. We cannot do any date below than this. My end date in the Excel engine will be better after our Y2K issues. So this goes until 31/12/9999 So I can backwardly I can go until 1900. Forwardly I can go for another millions of years to come. So that's how the data are going to work for us. So you can see that I can go for another at least 9,000 years furthermore to get my data. So let me just make a small change here. So I'm going to just give -125. Then it takes 125 months before what is the last date. So I'm going to say 1,000 year, 1,000 month afterwards what will be the last date. I think that I can go until 12,000 or something like that. So I'm not sure about the numbers exactly. Yeah, I can go even more, 25,000. Oh yeah, 50,000. 75,000. I'm going to 85,000. Probably I'll be in a mess now. So 88,000. Yeah, I have a few more years to go. So 89,000. Okay, 92,000. 95,000. 6,000. Let me take it slowly because I'm on the back end. Yes. So it's 95,500 probably. I might 95,500, 600. Yeah, I have another 13 more years to come into play. So I have a number of months I can add it here. So let me add another 80. Okay. Let me add another. Yeah. So I can go this long to get my dates in here. The same way I can use the next option called edate function. So again, so let me take the today's date again. Let's say I'm joining in a company and the company says that I'll give you your you have to work for 3 months with me. So you work for 3 months with me, then I will give you, or I'll take you into the roles. So you are working as a contract employee with my company. So once you finish it, from the contract employee, you will become a payroll employee. Contract to payrolls. And after the completion of 6 months, you will get your first increment. And if you work for 12 months, then you get another increment. And if you're working in India after 56 months, you're eligible for a gratuity. So, or maybe the retirement benefits. So I'm typing it wrongly. I don't want to give a wrong spelling there. So I'm just changing it as the So the retirement benefits will be given to you if you work 56 months. Or you can even quit the employment in between after 56 months. Or do you enjoy this retirement benefits? Maybe in the form of cash. So now I want to find out this. So again, I'm going to just come back to my list here. I'm going to say equals edate. I started is this. Again, I need to keep this as my constant date. I'm going to say F4 once for absolute cell reference and choose my number here on top. As usual, it's going to reply or give the answer in numbers. I'm going to change that to the short date. Now I can find out on what date I will get these benefits. So this is how we can deal with us. And you can see that this is coming right here. So I don't have the formulas coming up here, so I'm going to just use the formulas here. I'm going to just say, okay, I'll copy this, color this place. So I'm going to just say, copy this, paste it here. So we get the formula here. No, not. So the formula comes here. This is my end of the day formula. And if I copy this, paste this here, we'll get the edate functions. These are the formulas for the other two. This is the last function, and this is our best function that we have here again. So for whatever function that I've used, I got the best of it. So the advantage that I had earlier was I got these formulas in my dropdown. Now I won't get that. For example, I want to know how many years after months, how many months after days, how many months and how many days we are independent right now. So I'm going to say 15, 8, 1947, and then I'm going to just say today's date. I would like to know all these dimensions. So this stands for years after months, and months after days, only months, and all days. This is what we have our list as. So when I deal with the Datedif functionality, the rule number one is I have to type the entire formula here. I'm going to just say equals Datedif and then give an open bracket. Until then, you won't see that formula. So now we got the formula completely at the bottom. So I'm going to select the first list. Here there is no detailed information about what to do and what not to. Another component, you have a function argument to say that this is what you have to do first, this is what you have to do next. In this formula, we don't have that. So the logic behind is this. The first line is I'm going to give the start date and log them. The second line is I'm going to give the end date and log them. And finally, I'm going to use the year here. And then I'm going to populate this formula by giving Control R. You can see all of them are displayed. So now you can see all of them. So again, let me expand it to all of them so that you can see them to some extent better. So this is my data. Let me make all of them in center and color them up so you can see that. 72 years, 9 months, 12 days old, 873 months old, and 26,584 days old. This many number of days are there that we are independent at the end of the day today. So hope you enjoyed this video and looking for more formulas to be added. This is Vinod signing out from Excel YouTube channel. This is Excel Beginners Series 1.2. We have touched somewhere around 18 different varieties of formulas today in our video number 11. I'll be adding another 15 more videos in our next video called video number 12. Hope you enjoyed. Have a great day ahead. Keep learning. Enjoy furthermore. Thank you so much.